Hello, welcome everyone to Ice Cream Uploads here on Friday, the 2nd of September. How are we all doing? We've made it to Friday. What a week. I mean, if you was here for the pre-show stuff, that we were in the roll the VTs and stuff like that, you'll find out what's happening with my car. If you want to find out about what's happening with my car, then you can go over to Twitch and look at our first VOD. Don't look at the highlighted one, because the highlighted one will just be what you're listening to here. Go back, have a look at the original one. You'll find out all the problems that we had yesterday and what the outcomes are today. But this is The Scoop, the video game podcast, which we bring to you each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. It's 25 to 1. It's been a hell of a morning so far in terms of car getting to garages and speaking to people, blah, blah, blah. But also the fallout from Gamescom and all the meetings that we had over there. Whew, it is busy at Jelly Media HQ, which, if you didn't already know, is the company that we work for. Ice Cream Uploads is just a subsidiary of that company. Obviously, it is just me today again. Graham will be back on Monday, I think. I don't think he's got Monday off, so Graham will be back, and myself back in the hot seat, giving you this week, next week's content in terms of streams afterwards, after dark, and also the return of The Scoop. So we hope to see you then as well. But yeah, we've got 4 news stories today, and obviously a free game Friday feature. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like we do all this leading up to Friday just to be able to tell you what free games are out. And we've got 2 different articles with free games for you. We're doubling up this week, so I hope that you do stick around for that one. Tino says we'll chat in Discord. Yes, we will. Not deja vu at all. Ad says, oh, hello there. So again, I'm reading the chat here. All the chat was from the previous conversation that we had about cast off during the pre-show stuff. So yeah, this is The Scoop. I've been through all of this stuff. You can find this on YouTube after the fact, and also on all of your podcast services, which include, but not limited to, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify. So you'll never miss a show unless we don't record that show, and then you probably will miss it because it never happened. Hadn't even noticed the other one wasn't here all week, says West. And Tino says, other one who? Believe me, you'll find out tomorrow when he's doing Chasing Crates with Mates tomorrow morning. I feel like Graham has recharged, he's pent up all his PUBG aggression, and he is ready to unleash on anyone that gets in his path tomorrow. So you'll have to stick around and see what's going on with that. I'm actually off to Cardiff tomorrow to go and watch WWE Clash at the Castle, which I'm super looking forward to. I'm going to meet a couple of our old community friends, the likes of Ravi, the likes of Nico. Pirate's going to be there as well for those of you that know him. So it's going to be one hell of a weekend. I will be back on Sunday, but it will be the afternoon. Again, I did mention that there might be a stream tonight. I'm hoping to, but we're allowed to stream into other places now. So if I don't have time to be able to do it, I will be at my PC playing games tonight. Whether or not it's going to be on Twitch, we can stream it into Discord now. So what you guys can do, I mean, you guys might not know this because I have been streaming other stuff into it. I'm not going to mention it because the police will be busting down my door, but we have been streaming other content into Discord. Nothing outlandish, so get that out of your mind, you dirty bastards. I might just be able to stream whatever it is that I'm playing into Discord, because that means I don't have to advertise it and it don't feel like I have to be bubbly, outlandish, super over the top crazy. I can just throw my mic on, show you guys what I'm playing, and then we can have a chat. But what you guys can do as well is jump into the Discord. You don't have to have your mics on because there is a chat function there. Like what you guys are doing now into the chat, there is a chat window in there as well. So I can have my microphone on. I can show you what I'm playing. If you guys wanted to jump into the party so we can have a conversation, you can do that with your microphone. Or you can join in, no mic on, mute your mic, and you can just chat using the chat function there. It's amazing. I can't believe that more people aren't using this. It's just a nice, easy way for us to be able to play games with each other. So I might even do some pro clubs. Do you know what? I will do some pro clubs. Whether or not it's going to be on Twitch, I don't know. Sounds great. Must check it out. Yeah, so if you do have a PS5 and you have a copy of Pro Clubs or FIFA, let us know in the Discord later on, and we'll do some pro clubs tonight. How's about that? So you can jump into the chat if you really want to. If not, you can just join in the party anyway. Just mute your mic, and then we're all good. We can communicate that way. Xbox Pro Clubs when more people get Xboxes. Afternoon, Bibs. Afternoon, Gagad. How are you doing, mate? Ad says PS5 version. Yeah, mate. Yeah, PlayStation 5 all the way, baby. I need to update my FIFA on the console as well. It's been a long time. I think the last time that I actually played FIFA was the Subathon. So it's been a long old time. So yeah, we'll do some pro clubs tonight, I think. I don't necessarily know what time it'll be yet because Obviously, I want to be able to sort my boy out. I want to be able to have some tea with the wife and things. Obviously, I'm not going to be here this weekend, so it might be like 10 o'clock-ish, might be a little bit after that, but we'll probably be playing until the early parts of the morning anyway. G has a Series S, you have one too, no excuses. I know, I just don't have it downloaded. I mean, we have to go with the majority, I imagine. Ad says he only plays PS4 version. Big sad, big sad. Anyway, you're here for video game news. That is exactly what I'm going to give to you. We've got 4 news articles today. Again, it's only a dollop, so we will probably end up wrapping this show up about 40 minutes time or so. So let me just get into the first news article then. So the first news article from today is written by Chris Scullion over at VGC, and he says that Valve says that next-gen Steam Decks are planned and may include streaming machines. So, despite this being out about 4 months, it looks like we are getting a new iteration already, which is great because it means that this is hella popular already. Great style. It's highly likely that there will be a next generation of Steam Deck hardware, according to long-term Valve designer. The latest issue of Weekly Famitsu magazine has an interview with a number of Valve developers to celebrate the fact that the Steam Deck can now be reserved by players in Asia. At one point in the interview, the team said that if the Steam Deck is successful, we can expect more in the future. It says, unless something major changes, there will be a great generation of Steam Deck products in the future, designer Greg Kumas replied. The theme, the size, the shape will change. It may even become a streaming machine. Development of the Steam Deck will continue. One reason that is that the extension of our core platform, Steam, he said. The Steam Deck is another PC in another form, but Steam has many other uses besides its handheld device, such as TV on the desktop. We will continue to work to satisfy our customers as much as possible. Elsewhere in the interview, Steam Deck developer Pierre-Lupe Griffas, I think I've nailed that, identified battery life as one of the issues at the current Steam Deck, again seemingly implying that the improved hardware is already on the way. We've made some improvements already to the battery life between the time of launch and now, he explained. For example, we've made it possible for players to refresh rates at 40 Hz, and we're working hard to give users more control over how long that their battery lasts for. We will consistently optimizing the operating system to reduce battery consumption when playing games that are not too demanding. This will improve the battery life. In any case, battery issues are top of our list of future improvements. They kind of just go on to more battery power stuff in there, so we'll leave that there. But this, I imagine, is... well, it is good news. I don't even have to say I imagine. This is very, very good news for the future of handheld consoles. We have since longed for the days where we're able to play AAA titles at a great resolution on the go. We did get that as close as possible, really, with the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's not... it is 720 in hand and then 1080 when it's docked. But to be able to have something that runs at 1080 natively in your hands is fantastic. The biggest resource of this, though, is the battery life, which is why I don't think anytime soon we're going to see any kind of 4K handheld purely based off of the battery power. Like, it will just zap that battery before you know it. You're playing it, it's 20 minutes, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that we may have a 1080p display, and then we can move the sliders around ourselves to put a cap on how much power it's consuming would be the ideal scenario. Bigger battery would obviously be the biggest part of this. Like, having a massive battery internally, it will probably run a lot hotter. So yeah, I mean, if they could have done all of this by now, they would have done. Do you know what I mean? If they thought that they could have a 4K machine in our hands and be able to have an extensive battery life for portability, I think 4 hours is probably a minimum. I mean, that's at a massive push. Maybe 3 hours. 3 hours minimum should be your baseline for anything. Like a train ride. I mean, if you're not travelling the entire country, 3 hours I think might be we can get down to London in 2.5 from Manchester. Obviously it's a little bit different coming from the likes of Scotland and such, but like, I can get down to London in 2.5 hours. I can get to Cardiff in 4. Do you know what I mean? So I think 3 hours is a good baseline for any kind of handheld. So if it's anything less than that, then I think that's where the sticking issues are, especially with more demanding games as well. So that 3 hours couldn't easily go to an hour and a half. And I think that is the biggest sticking point when it comes to handheld consoles. You can play a great Game Boy Advance for like fucking 7 hours, do you know what I mean? Dead easy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more iterations of this and what they develop going forward, because I feel like, albeit Nintendo are the daddies of handheld consoles, I think Steam Deck will have a massive part to play in how we consume this going forward. Looking back through the chat, then Tino says, "I've got to go back to my training shortly. No problems, mate." JMK says, "PS Plus. Damn it, it's not been set up to wind up Tino." A ban JMK says Tino. Add command superior subscription model to Tito. You're reading correctly. Oh god, so we've adding commands now. Ad says Nintendo Online, never mind. It's shit. Switch, unfortunately, isn't that powerful. Struggles to run Skyrim on Witcher. I've never had a problem running Skyrim. I mean, it's the worst version of the game by a landslide. I mean, even if you put it towards the 360 version, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't have problems, in my opinion, running it. I'd never had any serious chugging. So I'm happy with how it performs on that. I'd never expected it to run like the PS4 version anyway. So I'm happy with that. 4K Switch Pro March 2023. Breath of the Wild 2 on launch. Keep dreaming. I think they're never going to go from 720p to 4K in one generation. Nintendo are not that way inclined. They'll be giving you a 1080p. In fact, they'll probably give you a 960 before they give you a 1080. Nietzsche says, "What, Skyrim? Bastard." JMK says, "Bibby has played all the versions. He should know." I mean, yeah. I mean, if there was one person that's probably inclined to give their opinion on what makes it kind of chuggy and not, I might be the guy that's at the front of the line. So some sort of porno Bibby likes. Nietzsche says ads. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, Steam Deck iterations. I'm very happy with the way that we're going with this. I feel like more handhelds in the market. We've got things like the Ambinic, like the Evercade and stuff like that. Like they're the old school machines, but Ambinic are making emulation software, which is probably about the same. I've got it downstairs. It's about this big. This is my phone case, by the way. My phone's wirelessly charging, so this is my phone case. It's about this big, the Ambinic, and you can play PS1 games on it. You can play DS games and stuff like that. Fantastic piece of content, a fantastic piece of hardware. You get about 4 hours battery life out of it, which is great for playing any PS1 games. I can play fucking Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1 on the go, which is ideal, absolutely ideal. I mean, you can do that on your PSP if you go to the store and you can buy the stuff. Smith is here. Good afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So yeah, the more handhelds that we have out there, I feel like with everyone else is going to be fine-tuning their stuff, then they'll be fine-tuning their stuff, and then they'll be fine-tuning their stuff, and then Nintendo at the top will be looking down at everyone else going, "Oh, we'll take that idea. Oh, we'll take that idea. Oh, we'll take that idea," and then you end up with a Nintendo Switch 2. So yeah, so like Lord of the Rings, yes, absolutely, you filthy boy. Let's move on to the next news article then. As I said, this is probably going to be like a 45-minute show or whatnot. We haven't had any Call of Duty news for a while, so let's jump into that one. So Call of Duty will launch on Xbox Game Pass, but still launch on PlayStation on the same day. Written by Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer. He says that Xbox boss Phil, there you go, nailed it, Graham. Take notes, mate. Take notes. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has issued a new blog post detailing plans for Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard franchises following today's announcement from the UK's Competition and Markets Authority that will scrutinise the deal in detail. As you would expect, Call of Duty, Overwatch and Diablo will be made available via Xbox Game Pass, Spencer said, and when Microsoft's $68 billion buyout of Activision Blizzard is complete. Spencer also made the guarantee that Xbox was committed to making the same version of Call of Duty available on PlayStation on the same day the game launches elsewhere. We will continue to enable people to play each other across it's easy for me to say, to play with each other across platforms and across devices, Spencer continued. The suggestion being to expect that Call of Duty crossplay without interruption. Of course, the timing of this blog post has been designed to coincide with this morning's ruling by the CMA that it will now refer to the Microsoft Activision deal for a far more detailed investigation, which cited concerns around some of the very issues Spencer discusses here. Spencer blog posts numerous mentions of the choice, for example, the choice to play Call of Duty via Game Pass or alternatively on PlayStation, likely to combat any suggestion it was actively hampering competition. This morning, the CMA wrote that Activision games and especially Call of Duty were important and capable of making material difference to the success of rivals gaming platforms, singling out PlayStation in particular. The CMA stated concerns over Call of Duty's continued availability on PlayStation and that post-merger, Xbox could potentially use its ownership of the franchise to harm the competitiveness of its rivals by offering it via its subscriptions. Spencer's blog doesn't mention the UK CMA by name, but offers a clear response on top of Microsoft's own to today's news and mention of its ongoing work with regulators. We will continue to engage with the regulators with a spirit of transparency and openness as they review this acquisition, Spencer wrote. We respect and welcome the hard questions that are being asked, and Spencer also made a cheeky note that Microsoft is not the only company currently involved in mergers and acquisitions by far. The gaming industry today is robust and dynamic. Industry leaders including Tencent and Sony continue to expand their deep, extensive libraries of games as well as other entertainment brands and franchises which are enjoyed by players everywhere. We believe that through a thorough review will show that the combination of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard will benefit the industry and players, Spencer concluded. The separate statements, Microsoft President Brad Smith and the company was ready to work with the CMA on next steps and address any of its concerns. Sony and the industry leader said that he's worried about Call of Duty, but we've been committed to making the same game available on the same day with both Xbox and PlayStation. Smith continued that we want people to have more access to games, not less. So I feel like we don't need to read any more into that. I feel like we've covered all of the bases. But Xbox, Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo apparently are going to be available on Xbox on Game Pass day one, and also on PlayStation, which is obviously a good news for everybody at this point. However, I do believe I am kind of on the side of Phil Spencer as well with this, despite being what most people say is a PlayStation fanboy. I do believe that they have an idea of how this is going to go in terms of Call of Duty will have Xbox specific things going forward, very much like PlayStation have had in the past. Like, I'm fairly certain the CDL is actually being played on PlayStations. I'm fairly certain that PlayStation have map packs that come to PlayStation first, and I do believe that when Xbox are wanting to buy Activision Blizzard, that they want to be able to have those kind of things rather than being on PlayStation and Xbox. I don't believe, despite all the accusations that have been thrown around, that they want to have these games just as Xbox exclusives. I do believe that they will make a lot of money off of that. So anyone that's being made from PlayStation subscribers obviously go back into the Microsoft Activision Blizzard pot in the future, which is great for all three of those companies. But I don't believe, unlike some of the Bethesda games, that they want them to be first-party games. Like Overwatch being free-to-play obviously benefits everybody because it could be across all platforms, including the likes of Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. Diablo, when that comes out, that's going to be interesting to see where that goes, but I do believe that will be not a first-party game. It's the Bethesda ones that people have to be worried about. That's the ones that I do believe could be the console-exclusive games going forward. So, yeah, I think this will be. I think this will go through. I believe that they may end up putting something in the contract that stipulates that they have to have them on every console for the foreseeable, the foreseeable being 3 years is a long time in video games, so it could be 3 to 5 years. I'm not sure whether or not that it will, in 10 years' time, solely be available on all platforms. I do believe solely later down the line it may be that the tide turns and they do become console exclusives. It's just whether or not they want to take the hit, because having the likes of Call of Duty on all platforms makes them a lot of money, including the likes of Warzone, like having battle passes and stuff like that in the game and using whatever kind of paid currency is a big money earner for them. So it wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to keep them on other platforms to keep that money coming in rather than just having it in one pot. Which is what always brought me back to the Bethesda argument. Like, you've got Skyrim that's available, or Elder Scrolls on all of the consoles. Historically, Elder Scrolls was a Microsoft or an Xbox exclusive. Like, it was a Microsoft exclusive. It was available on PC. It was available on the OG Xbox. And then obviously when we moved into Oblivion, that got moved over to the PlayStation 3 and available on Xbox 360. And then you got things obviously moving into the Skyrim era, which was available on all consoles. So it's not as if they haven't got a form of doing that stuff in the past when it comes to Bethesda. But when it comes to Call of Duty, I can't see it being that easy for them. I can't see them solely wanting to just keep that on one platform because, you know, money. Everyone loves money. So JNK says, really hope the next Elder Scrolls won't be an Xbox exclusive. I mean, I'm in a very privileged position that I'll be able to play it regardless of if it's just a first party game. Because I'll be able to play it on my PC, I'll be able to play it on my Xbox. I understand not everybody has that privilege, and I'm very privileged, and I'm grateful that I have that opportunity. I know a lot of people won't do though, but I mean, for an Xbox Series S, 250 quid to get yourself into a next generation of consoles, you can't really grumble at that. Sheep says, at certain points, good afternoon by the way, at certain points Game Pass is going to be a must if you like to play games. It's gone beyond Halo or God of War being a system seller. It's the whole Game Pass ecosystem. I do think that it's a massive turning point, and I think Xbox will dominate the console wars now. There is just too much value, and I agree. I mean, the value for money is going to come even better in the next couple of months when it gets rolled out of other places rather than Ireland at the moment, and I can't remember the other one. Was it in the Netherlands that they're running it? There was two places it was running. One of them was Ireland, and I can't remember where the other one was being trialled. But with the Xbox Game Pass family and friends, you get 4 ICU community members all chipping in it's £21 collectively. So obviously multiply. Is it 4 or 5 people? I can't remember. So dividing that by either 4 or 5, and you're paying that. I'm paying currently, I think it's either £8 or £11 for Ultimate, but I'm not going to say where I got the keys from because that will put me put me in water. I'm sure I'm paying £8 a month. Put it that way. For Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is fantastic because I'm playing it up here. I can play it downstairs. The world is great for me at this moment in time when it comes to playing video games. I have so much choice. I'm genuinely spoiled for choice. And again, I'm very privileged and super grateful that I have these opportunities. But everyone else currently does have those opportunities as well. If you do have an Xbox or a gaming PC, which you do want to add them, but it's the value for money is absolutely amazing. It's just what comes with that and their losses, because they need more people to subscribe. It's like Netflix at the moment. It feels like they reached their absolute what's the phrase? It's like their absolute max, their cap. They've reached the very top, and they won't have anyone else coming to purchase it. They've literally give it away to everyone to a point where people are going, okay, I've watched everything that's on there. I'm waiting for the next season of insert whatever season it is. I'll cancel it until then. And then when I've watched that, I'll cancel it until the next thing comes. So they're not getting continuous £8 off you every single month now. They're not doing that. Saturation point, yeah, we can use that. They've reached the absolute saturation where people aren't dying to have Netflix anymore because people have watched it all. They'll wait for the next big thing to come on there, and then they'll cancel it until then they'll wait for the next one. They're not relying on people logging in every day now. And I feel like that could be the case with Game Pass at some point where you've played all the games that you're happy to play on there. They need to keep adding them on, or new games adding them in, and day one games, which they are doing exceptionally well. Critical mass, I think, is the phrase I was looking for. They've reached critical mass. And they will continue to keep on putting games on there for people to enjoy, because they know full well that when the first party games have gone, what's left after that, there is a lot of great third party games on there, but there needs to be other games too. And I think that's what PlayStation aren't doing so well. They're not looking after the mass. They're just looking after, do you want to play this first party game that's now 4 years old? Okay, no problems. You might have already played it already, but here it is in the PlayStation collection. Like, there's no day one games that are being added to it, which I think works massively into Xbox's favour, but they are still being outsold 3-1 at this moment in time. Now, the good customer service angle that we've been going after for a while has been their main selling point for the last 5 or 6 years. They dropped a massive bollock when the Xbox One was announced all them years ago. 10 years now? No, it's 2013, I think it came out. So yeah, we're approaching a decade since the original Xbox One came out. And not the original, the Xbox One. I know, stupid names that they've given these consoles, but yeah, the Xbox One, they dropped a bollock with that, and they realised that about 3 years after the fact. Started honing in on their content and what makes Xbox great, invented the likes of Game Pass, started to build out their customer relations, started to give people what they want for a fraction of the price. And I feel like they have built a lot of goodwill. Their consoles, rather than being sold 7-1, 6-1, 8-1, 9-1, I think it's about 3-1 now that they're being outsold, which that gap is huge looking at it, but it's not as big as it once was. So their customer satisfaction is going through the roof. people are becoming happier. They've got enough money to come through the door now to go out and buy all these other companies. So they're in a very good position, Microsoft, which is obviously why we're seeing all these companies being bought out by them. It's just whether or not they have the legs. And I do believe that they will have the legs, they'll have the stamina. They will run out of loss for the longest time. They've done it in the past. They've run out of loss. They'll continue to run out of loss until they don't, because they are giving people what they want, and it's worth your money every single month. That's what people need. That's why subscription, your Sky bill's probably gone down. Your Sky TV bill's probably gone down because you don't need Sky Movies anymore. You probably found alternative ways to watch Sky Sports nowadays. You don't need, your kids are probably growing up, so you don't need the kids channels anymore. No one watches music videos anyway, so you're not watching music on the TV. So your Sky bill's probably gone from like £80 down to about, I don't know what the basic package is, 25 quid maybe. We have it downstairs. I mean, we got rid of it in the bedroom, the Sky box, and we've just got the one downstairs in the front room now because we don't watch that much on Sky anymore because of all the subscription packages that you've got. So the likes of Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, all these other ones that are dying to get your £8 a month, there is much better value for money elsewhere. JMK says alternative ways to watch Sky Sports. What could that be? Cough, cough, cough. Exactly. I'm not putting myself in a position where the police are going to be booting down my fucking front door. I am not admitting to anything. I am not mentioning when and which I'm able to get these Sky Sports packages from. I'm getting them from Sky. They are coming via my Sky dish. Okay? Got it. All right. Glad that's over with. If you want to know where you can also get Sky from via a Sky dish, then let me know, and I'll be happy to point you to one of the Sky executives who will be able to help you with your Sky package going forward. Okay? Not a problem. Anyway, speaking of free shit, let's move on to our Free Game Friday segment. You guys love this. I love this because I like to give you and tell you where the free games are this week. So what's free on the Epic Games Store right now, I hear you say? Well, I'm about to tell you. Thank you very much to Morgan Park for helping pull this one together. Written on PC Gamer, this is an absolute banger. Absolute banger. Get your Epic stores opened right now. It's here until September the 8th, and we are looking at Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Submerged Hidden Depths, and some stuff for Knockout City that I imagine people are still playing-ish. But anyway, lots of ruins combining on offer this week in the Epic Games Store freebies. First, the definitive edition of the final chapter in Square Enix's Lara Croft Origin Story series, in which Lara has another no-good, very bad day to stop a Maya apocalypse, and this inevitably thrashed out by the ruins of iniquity. Then, in Submerged Hidden Depths, we're offered tomb raiding of a more post-apocalyptic variety as two young voyagers explore the remains of sunken civilization in a relaxed exploration adventure. Wow, we had to phonetic that one out. Oh, and if you're looking to log into Knockout City this week, you can also get a cosmetic bundle for the free-to-play dodgeball game that lets you look at mutilated armadillo. Not sure how to make that and if it fits the game. So if you haven't already got the Lara Croft Definitive Edition, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I mean, I think this has been available on Xbox Game Pass and has been given out many times over on the PlayStation Plus each month. So if you haven't got it and you want to play it on PC, it's going to look glorious. I'm sure you'll be very happy with that. With Submerged, I mean, I'm going to put all of these three in my library anyway. My Epic Game Store library is brimming at this point. So this is a very good week for us. What was last week? Oh, Ring of Pain, yeah, and then Doom 64 the week before. Oh, we're on a bit of a run at the moment. We are on a bit of a run. But staying with free games, let's move into the next one. Lara Croft is better than Lara Croft, says ads. See, I didn't even have to go back to, you didn't have to bring my mug back on screen. We just moved straight to the next one. But this is also September's free games from Amazon Prime Gaming and now available to claim. This has been written by Tom Ivan over at VGC. And by God, these are some games. The latest round of free titles offered to Amazon Gaming members can now be claimed, and September's Prime Gaming lineup consists of 8 free titles, including Assassin's Creed Origins, Football Manager 2022. If you never want to see your children and wife again, you've got whiteboards all around your walls. You've got your pen and paper to hand. You've got the Ice Cream Uploads Discord to hand. You want to be able to look at Wonder Kids. that is the game for you. And also, I mean, that isn't in the article, by the way, that's just me ad-libbing. But Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, fantastic game. If you haven't played that one before, please go and get that one. But also included are the Dig, Defend the Rook, We, the Revolution, Castle on the Coast, and War of Law, the Deathmask Collector's Edition. So we have 8 unreal games for you to be able to go and pick up there. So if you do have Amazon Prime, if you are one of those guys that are on Twitch and you do have an Amazon Prime subscription that you're not using now, you'd like to throw over to us, we're very much grateful. But go on to the Amazon Twitch segment, you'll see it there in the loot drop stuff. Go and get that. Please get Football Manager, because if you don't have a life, you definitely won't have one after playing that now. It's one of my, I dread to think, me and Samantha had this conversation the other night actually, how much time I've spent on Football Manager since its inception. Like, I'm talking all the way back. My first Football Manager was CM97 and I was 6 or 7 at the time, depending on when that came out. Like, I've just been obsessed with football all my life, not knowing what the hell I was doing on Football Manager, but the thought of me being able to manage a football team was unreal in a video game format. And obviously since then we've had the likes of Championship Manager. Well, it was Championship Manager originally. We've had Total Club Manager, we've had FIFA Manager, we've had Premier Manager, we've had How to Make a Soccer Team by Sega. Like, we've had so many different iterations of Football Manager over the years that I dread to think of how much time I've spent on that. It's got to be collectively like 5 years, if not more than that, which is depressing to think I'm 31 now, and for 5 years of these 31 years that I've been alive, I've spent playing a video game. But I won't change it. Like, I love these games. Like, I've genuinely got here my FM journal, and this has got my current. I mean, this is if you do want to buy one of these, I think it was FM based that I bought it on. But this is my season info for my Duckingfield Town save. I've got it written in blue pen, so I don't think it's going to come up. But like, I'm playing in the Manchester Football League Premier Division. It gives you, you don't need this. That's a formation I'm playing 4-2-2-2. Like, stuff like this is nerd shit, but I will never change it because it's my winding down time. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone has the games. Lords of Football, it's a pretty good game. I mean, Lords of Football I actually got because I wanted to make content on that way back when, because people was playing Lords of Football and and Football Manager at the same time. So they do all the Lords of Football stuff with the training and the people going out, and then they go back into the looping Football Manager. And then if you been on the piss the night before, you can't select them. It was fantastic. I can't even remember who it was that did the series at the time, but I remember looking at that going, fuck me, that's revolutionary. Like, nobody else is doing that, so I wanted to try and do it myself, and then got sidetracked, just kept on flying through my season with Lords of Football, and got to the point where I thought, I probably can't make a series out of this now. But yeah, like, that's fantastic. But anyway, Football Manager, if you haven't got it already, you've probably been playing it on the Game Pass like I've been doing. But it's there, readily there, available for you now. Obviously, it will disappear off Game Pass in the next coming months when Football Manager 23 comes out. So if you have got a good save going, go and get that. Keep it. Shadow of Mordor, you absolutely need to play that if you've never played it before. It's unbelievable. There's mods still coming out for Lords of Football. Is there ads? I didn't know that. I did have mods at the time when we had like Balotelli and Kolarov and stuff that people had created and then uploaded so I could play with the team then, but I haven't played it for a long time actually. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to give you these episodes of The Scoop this week. That is it for today. Graham will be back tomorrow. I may be back later on this evening, but it probably most likely won't be on Twitch. It might just be on the Discord while we play some games together. I'm not sure what it'll be. But obviously, for you one way to find out is to join our Discord if you haven't already. The links will be coming into the chat in a minute as I go through the end of this podcast. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Do stick around though, because what we're going to do is send you over to one of our friends who's currently playing something. So even if it's just a hi and bye, that's absolutely no problems whatsoever. Just show them the love and then you can get on with your day. If you can't stick around, I will very much appreciate it, and I can guarantee they will too. But if you want to help shape next week's shows, when myself and Graham will be going through the next week's news, there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're looking for all the links, go into the description below. They will all be listed there for you. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at 10 a.m. on Monday. Highly unlikely ish is the words we're going to be looking for. So yeah, if you want to help shape those shows, you know how to do. You know what to do by now. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Do stick around. I'm going to go and raid Thomas. He actually raided us earlier this week, so I'm going to repay the favour. He's counting down the days until FIFA 23. So if you want to go over there and get some FIFA 23 news and look at some of the football that's been going on over the last couple of days, he will be the guy to do that for you. But until next time, guys, as I mentioned, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I do hope that you have a fantastic Friday and the rest of the weekend. And until Monday, stay frosty.